Well folks, how the hell are yous? Today we're going to have ourselves a Hikoki repairathon video. With 6 Hikoki nail guns on here for repair, all from different customers and all and at different times. These haven't just landed on here today, they've been building up for the last 2 weeks or so. So we're going to see if we can get fixed up out of this here lot. There's 6 guns, 1 second fix gun and 5 are the first fix, and they're all the same type. These are all the first generation ones, the NR1890DCs. There's none of the second generation in yet. So let's take these one at a time and see what we can get fixed up. Hopefully most of them will just need regassing. Right, we'll start off with this one. This is actually one of the last ones to come on here, as in the least amount of time. But this one did have a note saying it just needs regassed. So we'll try this first. So powering on. My battery's a wee bit flat just. Right, that one is either totally empty or there's something broken inside. We'll have to just see which one. Where are we? Up here. I need to get another battery because this one's not going to do everything. Would you come out? Get the wee screw out first. So this one must be a newer version of it, 2024 year. It's probably one of the last of the old model sold. So this has a wee different nut or bolt on top. Normally they had I use a wee ratchet to get this off. Now you can just use an Allen key. I'll soon see how much air is still on it. Actually, not much. Right, we'll get on here and see what we can do. Now as well, I didn't put this into maintenance mode first. Normally you put it onto maintenance mode for the lights and you fire it and leave the pin sticking out. I didn't do that, simply because I can't really do it whenever it's not firing. Won't fire a nail, it's not even going to do it when into maintenance mode. So we just have to work around that. If you can't get it into maintenance mode, just get rid of the air pressure inside so you can safely work on it. Actually, before we do that, just look at where the pin is. Is it actually back fully? Or is it halfway up or anything? That can also be an indication of what's wrong. It seems to be fully back. Now if I thought this just needed air only, just regassed, I could just go ahead and do it. I could hook up the valve kit and put air onto it, and then with enough pressure then I could put it into maintenance mode and top it up the rest of the way. But if there's anything wrong with it, I wouldn't want to be doing that, because we could be just causing damage to the gun. Oh, forgot about these. So before I do anything I want to check, make sure there is nothing wrong. She's still fairly fresh inside anyway. She's not done a wild lot of work. Just disconnect this stuff. lift this up, take this out. The pin, the main thing I want to check. I want to just check the pin and the wheel to make sure nothing's broken here. Still need the pin forward to do that though. So we just have to walk it forward. Maybe with a smaller screwdriver might be handier. But then nothing's easy doing this, because once you start moving it, you start putting pressure on, or not pressure but suction. So you have to hold on your valve and then move it. That pin looks okay, teeth aren't damaged. I'll just check this pin wheel as well, now that we're on this far. I'll make sure everything is in good condition. And if it's alright, we'll just go ahead and rebuild it and regas it. Actually, I'm going the wrong way here. The teeth are still in the way. Maybe I should be all the way in. Yeah, there we go. Going back to front. So all this is just paper. This is just off the cladded nails. And behind that's a wee bit of a sponge. That's just for holding grease. So the main things you want to check is just the bearings. Make sure they're good, which they are. And these two pins, this one here especially, this is the big one. This was taking maximum load when the gun's ready to shoot. We'll clean this down and we'll just clean it up. Just want to remove this paper so we can put fresh grease on it to make sure it's well lubed up. That's actually looking good. I want to just make sure for this boy, because this company actually uses quite a few of these, and they're actually one of the first ones the shop sold these nail guns to. So they were all pass load and they changed the Hikoki. This is the main pin you want to check here. That's the big one. That's when it's sitting on when she's ready to fire, and the last tooth on the pin actually has to go for the top off to fire. So that can wear. If there's any wear in it or cracked or broken, always change that. But that one's okay. This crowd, they were all pass load. They tried the Hikoki gun and they were very impressed with it. And they used it for quite a while. And I think they took out a few more then, until the first one started giving them trouble. So the first generation, they got one fixed then. I think it wore through the pin. It totally wore out in them. So they got that replaced. And then I think another one needed something done to it. So then they weren't sure about them then. So I think they actually went back to pass load for a little while. Don't think they bought new guns. I think they just took out their old ones again. Actually, a bit more than that in there. But then quickly they were on buying new Hikoki guns again. It's simply because once you go to them, you can't really go back, because pass loads, they are good, don't get me wrong, but there's more maintenance on them, and there's more misfires, and there's more messing around. These things just run until they stop. That's it. Then you can get them quickly fixed up, or if they're well worn out, been doing an awful lot of work, sometimes it might be more worth replacing. But they started looking at the numbers then, they realised these things are doing an awful lot of work. Way more than the pass loads. The main thing they went back to the pass loads for was simply because when they're in the van with other boys working with them, they were picking up the pass loads simply for the weight. Because these Hikokis are a heavier gun. Make sure that's well clipped on. So for a while, boys were preferring the pass loads over these, simply because they were lighter and easier to carry. But over time, they all changed the Hikoki, because when they run, they just run and there's no messing. So there's no misfires, there's no service needed, there's nothing like that there. So eventually the time saving won them over. Now I think they're all Hikoki. This must be one of the last ones they bought. Where's that other wee piece? Still in here? It is. Now if you ever think of doing this yourself, checking it out, thinking you're just going to open it and not bother with the gas, because you have to have a revalve kit to regas this thing. If you think you're going to go this far and dismantle it and just leave the gas in it, think again. If you don't just take the air out of this thing and you disconnect this here gearbox, this is what actually locks the pin. Once you disconnect this thing's going to fire. You have to get the gas out, and if you take the gas out, you need a wee set, or you just need some way to put gas back into it. And this is just the awkward spot. To reconnect this onto the gearbox, but you have to do it with these wee pins in place, these wee plastic stops. You also have to get that gear locked on. You rotate it around until you find this right spot. Bit fiddly, but it goes on. And then these leads, there's a wee rubber that holds the aluminium housing here. Make sure those leads go between the rubber and the plastic, not between the rubber and the aluminium, because it'll wear through them. You just slide in there, lock them in. And just turn this. That gearbox drop in, and so should the motor. Then just connect everything up. You can match the colours or you can match the leads, but you can't mismatch them. You only go one way. They're all different. Now, we can actually do what it came in for, and that is to be regassed. If this was just shooting the nail halfway in, if it wasn't sinking the nail, I just would have regassed it straight away. Because it's a clicking thing, I wanted to just check it out just in case there was a problem with the pin. But it was just totally empty. There wasn't even enough pressure to get the pin to move. Now, will she close? That's the question. It's the screws that cause this to be difficult. It's easier to take them out. But of course, I always try to be lazy. There we go. Right, and one thing I forgot to do there was move that pin again. Now I have it all the way on. Right, we'll just do it the way we're going to do it and regas it a bit first to get the pin out, and then regas it right. always have the magazine on just to support your actual driver blade. Needs to go back on now, so I may as well put it on now. Around this way. So this is the wee revalve kit. It's just a little regulator that is putting air into the gun at a certain pressure. That's all it is. So this is going to put it onto a set pressure, but because the pin's back, it's not going to be right. You normally regas the gun with the pin all the way forward, so it pressurizes up a larger volume. Why is this not getting now? It's torture to get on sometimes. So when you repressurize it at a larger volume and then you actually use the gun, it puts the piston back and then it recompresses that larger volume to a smaller volume and increases the pressure even more. So that's why we're going to have to do this twice. The pin has to be forward to do this right. Now luckily the lead from a compressor broke, and this time when I fitted a new one I made it long enough to actually reach in here, so I can do this on the camera without moving stuff around. I need a different fitting. You have to make her an extendo valve. It's just a change from a low flow to a high flow. That's all I need. That's not what I need. I'll have to do it again now. That's better. The new gun is in a much better location. The valves are right at the back. There's no messing around with a sear crack. I haven't even needed to regas any of the guns apart from the one I done a teardown on. Right, so now we can power her on. And this time put it into maintenance mode. Blue light should be blinking nice and quick. That should be it. I just have a nice nail covered board here. Pull back your mag, push down your gun, pull the trigger, and you hear that motor click. Battery must be too low. One of these other ones. That's better. That slow blink is just bump mode. Fast blink is maintenance mode. Now 2 or 3 times and then she should fire. That didn't fire. What happened there? Right. That was not meant to happen. It wasn't meant to do that. There's something else wrong here. There's something wrong, or I did something wrong. I'll open up again and see what's going on. Crack her open and lock. And actually dump the air pressure as well. No, something I did, isn't it? I'm not on the right panel. I moved this whenever I was reassembling, and the pan went around some of the position. Right. So in other words, you can't install it like this. You have to have it on bump mode. You have to have this forward. So in other words, it was me just thinking I could put it into bump mode afterwards to repressurize, then shoot it forward. Doesn't work like that. You just have to do it this way. Just make sure this little wheel doesn't move. Take that piston all the way forward. So now, once she goes to spin, she grabs this here first tooth. So before, when I put it on, I had it all the way back and just installed it. Whenever it went to fire then, she was trying to drive the piston back again, and she was getting hung up in the wrong tooth, so it actually couldn't fire. It wasn't in this free position to move forward. And you can't actually, I was hoping to just guessing it and getting into position, but once you install it onto this gearbox, this can move around anyway. So you remove it in the wrong position, you're putting it in to the lock position. So don't do it that way, in other words. Do it like this. Now no matter what happens, whenever you repressurize the gun, this is just going to start spinning. Doesn't matter what position it is. It can only turn this way, and the first thing it's going to hit is the first pin. So it can only engage the pin correctly. Take note of that for the future. Always make sure she's on maintenance mode. There we go. Right. Lesson learned. Second time lucky. Now, this time we should only have to regas it once. We're only doing this to once this time, so leave it there for a wee minute or so, make sure it's getting full pressure. So that there's the pin sticking out forward. It's got maximum volume inside there now. Take this off nice and quick so you don't lose as much air as possible. Will leak a little bit, so try to be quick. That's it. And then get your plug back in again. That should be the gun regassed fully now. We don't need to put it on the maintenance mode. We can just go ahead and fire it. That was an awkward one to start off with. Did just need regassing, but checked it over and then made mistakes. Hopefully the rest go a bit more smoothly than this. Power on. Nails in. Now the first one will be a blank fire. It won't even fire actually. You pull the trigger and it'll just take the piston back. And then the next one then will shoot the nail. Now she's ready to go. That's her. That's the first one done. That only took way longer than planned. So 2024 nail gun. She just needed regassed. Everything else was just a check over basically. Bit of time spent on it, but at least we know she's running now and there's no other problems with it. Now this next one is in from another hardware shop. Not exactly sure what's wrong with it. They just said it's not firing right. I don't want to go back outside because it's a bit rough, so I'm going to try just shooting here. Hopefully I don't go through the timber and onto the bench. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with that. Don't know what to say here. We've got a bolt missing here too. Sometimes a bit of paper can get jammed up down in here, but that's actually fairly clear. It ain't that. I'll have to get a new bolt though. Obviously it's not left on just for that. So unless he's going into harder stuff, I don't know. Might just regas this anyway and leave it at that because she is working. We'll see if we get this here bolt first. Handy thing about working in a hardware shop, when you need a screw or a bolt, you can just go up and get one. Wrong type, same size, do the same job. Socket head a wee bit better, that's a stainless one, but it'll be alright. Might have to see about ordering on the right size, maybe a 5x25 or a 5x20 maybe. I'm going to take this out and test it again on something harder. Right, started sticking it a wee bit on that last one, so it might just need a wee bit of extra air pressure, might be just starting to get a little bit low. probably is maybe going to sound harder, but all that timber out there is just pallets and it's all wet, so it's a wee bit easier to go into. So we'll chance putting this, or regassing this thing, and see if that sorts out the problem, because I can't actually see anything else wrong with this thing. So maintenance mode, fire it a few times. Oh, what am I doing? There's no nails on it. One bang, and that's it out. So I shouldn't need to go into anything else here. So this is the older one. Brass nut on top. Actually silver, not even brass. I wouldn't let all the air pressure out anyway, so what's the point in putting it on? Maintenance mode, pin out, valve on, pressure on. Now what I'm also going to do is just do that again. And I'm going to get the compressor to restart and make sure it's up at, that's that valve again though. Make sure it's up at 8 bar, because I don't think that is at a high enough pressure yet. Yeah, it's up the pressure now. It was only at 7 bar. Put the pressure on and leave it for a few seconds longer. It'll be still some, it'll still be equalizing the pressure inside. If it's not up at 8 bar, if this isn't high enough pressure inside, it doesn't lock the non-return valve and it starts to slowly let the pressure out until it all just releases. That's if you leave it connected up. But if it's high enough pressure, it's enough pressure to actually lock it and stop it back feeding out again. See what I mean? Now, at least this one was a bit quicker. Not sure what am I at. We want this. Just to keep that sealed up. Make sure no air gets out past that non-return valve. Now, go again. Power it on. Just try shooting nail. Now, ready to go. Take it out and try it in the same pallet. Much better. That's her. That's number 2. Ready to go. Just needed regassed. Pressure was just a little bit low and it wasn't sinking the nails fully. Repressurize it with the revalve kit. Gets it up and running again. Really cheap and easy to do. And this one's actually a 2020, so this one's already done 4 or 5 years of work before needing to be regassed. But that's it. There it goes. If it's not sinking the nail, get it regassed somewhere. It only costs 30 or 40 euro to get it regassed, depending where you are. And if you need to do any other work on it, but if it's just regassed like that there, it's only going to cost me 30 euro to get it done. Fairly cheap. Right, back to it. Actually had to stop there for a little while, lost a wee bit of time. The power went off here in the shop. It was a wee bit rough outside and we lost power, so I had to go out and get the generator up and running and go out and get petrol and that, but no sooner did we have it all set up and running, 20 or 30 minutes later, the power came back on again, so I had to take everything back apart and put everything away again, so lost about an hour here. Right, on to the next one. Hikoki nail gun. This is the NR1890DC. This one's actually from 2020 as well. This is the second fix gun. I think we might be able to tell what it is. The wee magazine holder or nail guide is actually broken off. Now the question is this the cheap one or the dear one? There's the 16 gauge and there's an 18 gauge gun, and the wee nail lifter like this here comes with a kit in both of them. One's quite expensive and one is reasonably priced. Don't know which one it is. I'll have to see if I have one of these in stock too. But there's other things wrong, because it looks like this boy has actually tried to fix this himself and he's unscrewed everything but the right thing. He's taking these screws out and he's taking this here out. So now everything's sitting loose. That's the only one he needed to take out. So I'll just check this magazine as well. Now this is a common one, because these stick out so far. If you drop them or give them a kick or put them down wrong, there's only a bit of plastic wrapped around here that holds this on. If you give it a bad enough bang, they can come off. And then there's one more screw here. And that's it. That can just come out. So he's just unscrewed this. It's not a big deal. You just want to make sure nothing else is broken. That there's part off. Your little lifter or nail guide or lifter, I think they call it. That's meant to be on there. That's what wraps around and holds it on. That breaks, you're replacing the whole thing. Right, he's just unscrewed everything. Cross-threaded some bolts. That's better. That shouldn't be doing anything. It should just be on like that. Right, the rest of it looks okay. We'll see if we have one of these here guides now in stock. That just sits down in here. Right. Turn that up so we can see. So part number 109. So nail feed. That's what we're looking for. It looks like the expensive one. Part number 371089. See if we have one of these in stock. Should have, because I always try to keep these in stock because they do go quite kind of often. So we've got a 103. That is for the 18 gauge, and that's €18 plus the VAT. That's the cheaper one. This is the dear one. The 089. So this one, the number we need, and she is €63 plus the VAT. Not cheap, especially. Seeing this here is the only bit we actually need. Now, to buy that separately, the dearest thing is probably the actual holder and the spring. But to buy this whole plastic piece on its own, to be honest, might be a bit more hassle than it's worth for most people, because there's quite a few wee springs and pins and whatnot you actually have to take out to remove the rest of it. So might be better off just buying it as one piece. But they could at least make that cheaper, seeing as the other one is so cheap. So all you're doing is lining it up, putting your nail guide into this here centerpiece, sliding that on, and just making sure your little coil spring hooks onto the outside, just onto there. A wee bit of jiggery pokery to get it on, but once it's on, it should stay on. That's it. Just as long as you don't pull this bar back out again. And it's simply a matter of sliding it back into place, because the top is locating onto these here, two holes here, these two metal pins and the whole nail guide head. So there's no screws needed at the top. Drop it on. Should click down. Should, he says. There we go. And that should be it. Power it on. Give her a test. Oh, I suppose we need nails on it first. Nothing wrong with that. That's her. Another Hikoki up and running with a new nail feed. That's the part number if you ever need it. 371089. It cost about €63. And they do fail a wee bit often, as you can see why. If you get a knock sideways, you can easily break that off. It's only a piece of plastic on the inside holding it. But if they break, they're well worth fixing. On to number 4. Again, same as the last two. This is the NR1890DC. I'm pretty sure they're all the exact same. This one's actually 2024 as well. Now, I don't know what's wrong with this one. Maybe it just needs regassed as well. Let's see what she does here. Actually turned off. Right. This is a little more complicated. Is that the battery? Or was it the tool? Right, something funny going on there. There's wee X in this actually. Maybe it's a faulty battery. Try his other one. It's turned on again. No, it's turned off. Some of these Hikokis, you don't actually get a battery indicator. Try it in mine. It might be fully charged, but it shouldn't be completely flat. Power on. No, mine is nearly flat. It's just blinking. blinking. It won't fire because the battery's too low, but it's staying on. Why is this one not staying on? $20, nearly fully charged. There's no reason for that to not work. And I'm going to charge mine up here and see what it does. See if it works on this then. Or is there a problem with the batteries? And I'll see if I have a new battery or another battery that's fully charged. I've got chargers running left, right and centre here. New multi-volt one. 2 bars should be enough for us to run. Shouldn't tell me if it's the tool or the battery. Right, definitely the tool. It's not doing anything. Right then. It's not the batteries. Turn that off. Too noisy. Leave the other one charging just. Battery's working on this anyway. Not really seeing anything. Kind of half expecting to find a broken wire or something. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong here. Or a loose connection or something. Normally there's a fault that's going to come up as a wee orange light or something down here. But it's not showing any faults. There's just wee pieces of foam. Try again here. Now actually everything going there. My own battery charging, his battery's charging, another boy's battery's charging, and the new battery I've taken down to test it out. Charging that up too. Just be careful when you're putting these on. When it's not connected, make sure you are going onto the right pins. You can do it wrong. Nothing again now. Zero. That looks to be moving to me. I think it's the fuse. Yeah. I wonder if this is just work hardened or something. There we go. That's exactly what it is. It hasn't blown, it's just snapped. These have been probably a bit too long with the gun shooting and firing and moving around. They've probably been shaking and rattling a wee bit, and it's actually work hardened and broken the fuse. So it hasn't blown the fuse, it's actually broken it. A blade in my hand there would have threw it. I still didn't take in this new cordless soldering iron. I'm still stuck with this little Weller one. So I'll have to get that out and get it slowly charging up again, or slowly heating up. I'm going to show the one, keep the other one till I do a wee review video, collaboration video, and then I'll keep it in the workshop, because that heats up in no time. This wee Weller one takes a lifetime. All we need for this: soldering iron, a little bit of heat shrink, and a 40 amp car fuse. That's it. Nothing special. That's what I like about these things. Could have went with a big special feature, special part you have to order on for this here, but no. Just used a standard fuse. This makes it a wee repair you could easily do at home. Just tin these first. That is, just get some solder on it, and then unsolder this. Before you put the new ones on, just slide on some heat shrink. Put it far enough down the lead so it doesn't just shrink too early on you. That's it. Wait till it cool down so we can get that heat shrink on. This is the most untechnical repair there is. Would have been better if they had these wee things actually plugged onto the board, the control board here. But we'll not squabble over it. At least we can just easily replace them. That'll do. Blowtorch method's just quicker. Now, get this jumble of stuff all shoved back in again. And all in the right place too. It doesn't plug any of these out either, so it should just drop in. Make sure that's sitting down and that's in there. It should be us. as long as this goes back on easy. There's a problem there anyway. That moved. So only a piece of rubber pushing down on here just as a cushion. They're just stuck on. You can just adjust them if they come loose. It's going to be awkward on me now. Just take out the nails, make it easier on myself. I'm just going to put that on the other way so it's sitting down on there too. I mean, the screws, as it happens, they don't go in straight. Just easier just to remove them. Moment of truth. Is that all it is? Power on. Does shit. Oh, that's longer than I thought. Huh, look at that. He actually hit one of the 16 gauge and drove it all the way out. That's it. She's definitely shitting anyway. That's her. One Hikoki nail gun. All it needed was a new fuse. Didn't blow it, it just broke it. Cracked right in the middle. So we're starting and stopping. Replace the 40 amp car fuse and you fix the tool. That is, what's that, number 4? On to number 5. We're actually getting through them rightly here. Right, number 5. Let's see what's wrong with this one. Right, that one's got an actual fault. Blinky lights. Blinking orange lights, so that's an error code. The battery indicator that can go green to tell you the battery level. I can go orange lights or red lights. Red's more serious, obviously. The orange blinking lights as an error. They blink at different intervals and at different times for different faults. So the blinky blink like that, where it just goes on and off intermittent for about 10 seconds. That's normally something like, it's on as simple as a broken wire, faulty sensor up in the top, or maybe a jammed up piston inside the actual driver blade. The motor could be jammed up, could be something like that. Then they also blink like top so many times in the bottom. They blink in different ways for different sequences, for different problems. There actually is a repair instructions PDF online. If you type in the NR1890DC repair manual or something like that there, you normally get up a PDF file showing how to actually dismantle the gun and rebuild it again, and some of the faults and repair sections on it. But it also tells you what the wee blinky lights are for. So that, I don't even think I can put this into maintenance mode when it's like this. Nah. So to get rid of the orange light, you can actually just reset this. It's not a big deal. You can reset it, clear it, and then try the gun again, see if it works. But just in case I like to just make sure there's nothing actually wrong with the gun, just in case there's something jammed up in here, and then taking it out of the error mode and shooting the gun can cause damage. So just in case, to be on the safe side, I'll generally just check it out. Yeah, see? That pin's sitting forward a little bit too much. There's nothing actually jamming it. Nothing damaged up here, there's no nail jam. So there shouldn't be anything to go wrong if I go ahead and just take it out of maintenance mode now. So I'll try it again, take it out of maintenance, or clear the fault and test it, see if I need to do anything else. Sometimes they just jam. They jam, they come up a fault, and it blinks the orange light and the gun won't work. You can. Sometimes you just need to reset it. So switch it on. So these two for maintenance mode, and that's the battery. I think it's the nail one to clear the area lights. That's it. Cleared. Now we're getting a blinking red light. That could be the battery. Should really get a new nail board here. Just getting a bit rough, this one. Would need nails too. That might be flat. Actually, not working. Good job I charged my own up on the last one. Try again. Yeah, solid green. Blinky lights again. So it's doing something it doesn't like. Blinky lights again. Right. It's working, but it doesn't like something. See if his battery works in mine. It does actually. Mightn't be a battery problem at all. Could just be a tool problem. Right. Can't see anything obvious. First thing, let's get rid of this air. Something going on there. That's just paper. Do away with that. We need this. Maybe there's something gone, maybe there's not, I don't know. Maybe it was just about a pressure pushing that. I wonder if it was just packed out. So that's the last pin here. This is the first one. So as that turns, that's sitting in here. So as that turns this way, it's grabbing the pin, the teeth in the pin. And she's only going back so far, and you can see that paper is getting thicker here, look. And she wouldn't really move, she's very thick here. I wonder if that's the problem. Might not be, but it's worth checking anyway. See what I mean, look? That's just the paper from the nails. It eventually starts to build up inside, look. Oh yeah, that's solid there. There's foam inside of here too. That's just to hold a bit of grease, like I was saying. The paper, that's making it very tough. You just look at that. All that from in there. Right, give it a wee clean. Bearings are okay. With a bit of a clean and a wee bit of grease, that might help it. Right, a wee bit cleaner. Main thing is this, make sure that's cleaned down, just like the last one. Top up that grease. I'm going to use the gear grease this time. Doesn't really matter which one I use. But you can actually see the foam down in here now, all packed on. Get a good load of grease on. You can also add grease from the front here. You'll be able to see just a little bit of the wheel. You get something like a syringe like these here. These are actually animal feed syringes. I just put grease in them for these here jobs. You can just squirt a wee bit of the grease into this. Just a wee pea size or 2 pea size amounts. Just to keep it lubed up. But it doesn't matter how much you put on because these aren't like the DeWalt. Grease is actually good for them, not bad. So if you over grease them, it's not a big deal. Same as an air gun basically. They need some in there. Just make sure that it's all the way down. Now, I won't make the same mistake again. Take this pin forward now. That's forward, and the next pin she's going to grab is the correct one. Just there. Touch more grease here. Just for the wee bumps. For the awkward bit. This is all that grease is for. It's just to hold them. You line this up. Which can take a little longer than you would imagine. There we go. Just getting the teeth of it lined up. And just get all the leads back in, get it rebuilt. Hopefully this is all the problem is anyway. Could be more to all I know, but I'm assuming, because that was so badly packed out, it's putting the motor under a little bit of extra strain. As you can imagine, whenever she's actually running back, compressing this here air with the piston, she's putting under a massive amount of load. So if that's even stiffer again, it increases it a lot. So the controller might just shut down and say there's too much load and call it a fault. Or it could have nothing to do with it. But I think that is the problem. Now, make sure everything's nice and tidy. Nothing's in the way. Everything's neatly in place. That's down and that's on. Take the nails out this time to make it easier. And we'd also need the trigger. Now these can also wear down here and here. Not that it matters, just makes it a wee bit loose in the gun. You can also just replace that on its own. It's not really a repair. It's more an aesthetic thing, just for the way it feels. Now hopefully you can see why I recommend the Hikoki gun here now. How many is that now you've had to regas? Either for the problem or whilst fixing something else. The Milwaukee's the same type of gun, the same power, does the same thing, but it uses nitrogen. I know I pointed out in other videos, but we still keep getting them in here. Different people wanting us to fix them, and we don't even sell them. And at the minute now, we're actually refusing them. We don't take them in anymore. Because they're too much hassle, they're too much time, and they're not really worth fixing. Because they use nitrogen, nobody stocks it, nobody regasses it. Unless it's a main dealer, obviously. You can imagine how much more hassle there is in fixing one of them. Plus, can't get very many parts for them. They're all big part assemblies. But these here, when they do go wrong, you can buy the bits, you can fix them up. You can strip it apart, take the air out of it, re-air it, regas it, and just get it running again. And for the amount of work these things are doing, they're paying for themselves basically. So that's why I'm still recommending them. And the new gun is even nicer again. I haven't even had one of them in for repair yet. Where's the little one? Still inside. I'm going to regas this first. I'll set a minute, and that should be it. This here one simple action makes this here so repairable. Just being able to do this, just with a normal compressor and one wee special fitting. You don't even need the special fitting. If you put 7 or 8 bars of pressure into this thing, it's all you really need. All you need is just something that's going to go into this hole. I've actually done it with the Makita guns. I don't have this thing for the Makitas yet, and I've literally just jammed a piece of plastic onto the end of the compressor airline and just shoved it in and just put it up to 8 bar. Done the same job. Wasn't as good, didn't sink them fully. Probably need to put the Makita up a little bit more, but that's it. Simply able to put air onto the gun makes these so repairable. That's the number one thing that was wrong with Milwaukee's, because even if it was just paper jamming up that wheel in the Milwaukee, the only way to fix it is to start dismantling and take the gas out. If you can't put the gas right back in again, there ain't much you can do. Good gun otherwise. Still does the job. I'm not saying it's not a good gun for performance wise. It's powerful like this. It sinks the nails. They just don't last anywhere near as long. You just seem to get your money out of these ones. They pay for themselves in the long run. Especially when you compare it to the likes of a gas gun. Now, nails and a test. Power on, still have the same fault. Just clear that first. That's it cleared. And hopefully it'll actually work. Oh, pull the pin back first. Pin back, still a green light. that. He's got that all the way in there. So it absolutely buries them. It also makes it harder to plunge it down. That's it. That's all that's wrong. Dirt and old bits of paper. That's bits of timber. Bits of that there. Plated paper off the nails. Getting pulled back in and jamming up that driver wheel. Open it up. Take out the gas. Open it up. Clean it out. Re-grease it. And it's up and running again. Not great for a 2024 machine. So it's only about a year or so old. Year and a half maybe. But that's not to say it hasn't fired many nails. I don't know how many boxes of nails that thing's gone through to get that much paper onto it. But it's up and running again now and ready for work. We are 5 for 5 so far. But can we get all 6 fixed? Same thing again. 1890 DC. They're all the exact same. Apart from the second fix. Now no information on this one. No note, just test and see what it does. Right. Don't know what's happening here. She's shooting. She seems to be sinking them. No blinking lights. I'll take it out the back and try again if there's something harder. It's too dark out here now. Now, don't know what's happening here. Let's see if we have a number for this man and give him a wee buzz. Right, this one might just be a wee quick check over. He says it got a soaking one day. He was working on a roof and it got absolutely drenched. But it was working. We went back at the next day, it would only shoot a couple of the nails and then stop and wouldn't fire again for a while. He took the battery out, let it sit, put it back in again. Then it'd shoot another few, then stop again. Kept doing that there. So he says it was working when it was wet, but then the next day and then afterwards it wouldn't work at all. So unless it's just a wee bit of water damage, we'll just check inside, see if there's any water still in it. Or it could well be his battery too. But that looks fairly dry. We'll test it on his battery now. Yeah, see? Blinking red light. Maybe it is his battery. Yeah. Battery problem. Not gun problem. It's charging. There we go. Let that sit for a minute. We'll try it again on this battery. This is only a wee 2 amp battery, or 2.5. That's a lot of nails. So it looks like it's the battery that's got wet. gun's fine. Nothing wrong there. So the last one might be an easy one. I wonder if he has another battery, if it's only just the one. Right, that's been running a good 30 or 40 minutes now while I've been writing up repair sheets. And it hasn't stopped and it's still charging. So the battery's not actually faulty. Different story, it was coming up with fault. But that's working. Let's see, 19 volts. I think this man might have just jumped the gun. It got wet and it wouldn't work. I think he might have just been assuming that's the battery. See, now coming up a red light or an orange light now. Don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think it got wet. There wasn't a problem. His battery was just dead, and he's assuming there's a problem because it was wet. It still needs nails to work though. Nail board's seen better days here. That's it, gone. Too many nails. That is working. That's not standing that now. Right. That's not his charger, but it is his battery. I think this thing just got wet and he put it away, and when I began to use it again then it didn't fire right, and I just assumed it was the water. There's nothing actually wrong with it, unless the battery was wet and it wouldn't charge. Maybe it came up with fault then, but it is definitely charging now. It's taking a charge, it's going up, and the gun's working. So that's it. There's nothing actually wrong with it. So we're not actually 6 for 6. There's nothing actually wrong with this one, but we are 5 guns for 5 guns. That ain't going too bad for these here Hikoki nail guns. That is why I'm recommending these here all the time now. They are fantastic guns. They do the work and they keep working all the time without misfiring or needing to be serviced all the time. To me, they are very good. Can be a bit of a torch to work on. They're quick and easy to regas, but you have to strip down the whole thing. It can be a little bit more work. Awkward to get them closed again. But they definitely are a good gun, and the new 2nd generation ones are fantastic. But that's it, folks. 6 Hikoki nail guns in for repair. 5 of them fixed up. The last one, nothing even wrong with it. When it comes to power tool, folks, doesn't matter what brand or what type of tool, maintenance goes a long way. But a maintenance keeps the thing running for longer and keeps it running right. Strip it, clean it, re-grease it, fixes a lot of problems, and you'd be surprised how often it does. 6 guns, and I only needed 1 part to actually get one of them fixed. Everything else was just regassing and stripping, cleaning, and different wee things like that there. But strip it, clean it, re-grease it, fixes a lot of stuff, no matter what type of tool. It doesn't fix everything, but it does keep things running right. And if you're doing a wee bit of maintenance every once in a while, it does go a long way to keeping your tool up and running and in pristine condition. So it keeps earning you money instead of costing you money. Because whenever they do wear out, they generally wear parts. So cleaning it and keeping it re-greased keeps things moving freely inside and stops it from wearing out. But that's it, folks. Hopefully somebody out there finds this helpful for these here Hikoki guns. As always, if you're liking the videos, make sure to give us that wee like button down below. If you haven't become members already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications when there's a new video posted, hit that bell notification as well. But till next time, folks, I'll chat to you all later. Cheers!